Hey guys, it's Megan. Welcome back to the library. Today, for Valentine's Day, I thought that I would show you guys some of the romantasy books that I have read recently. And we're going to try to figure out why I like some of them and why I don't like some of them. So for those of you who don't know, I'm sure you know, romantasy is literally like fantasy romance. And I've heard people call it fanro or fantasy romance or just romantasy now. So I tried reading, six romance romantasy books recently in the past year probably, and some of them I absolutely hated and DNF'd, and then a couple that I actually finished, and I'm not sure why. So let's see if we can figure it out together. So first I tried Dance of Thieves. Can't remember the author. It'll be right here on the screen. This is a duology and it is young adult. So it's Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves. Now I should know that if it's young adult and it's fantasy, I'm probably not gonna like it anyway. So that's honestly my fault. But on Goodreads, it has a 4.16 rating out of 133,000 ratings. So it has a pretty high rating and kind of a large amount of readers. I was kind of shocked. I actually made it 59% through this book. So we're not talking just a little chance I gave it. I've read over half, and it's a long book. It was a chunky one. And I gave it, let's see what I say. Oh, I said it had no atmosphere. I felt no atmosphere at all. There were no vibes I was getting from this book. I did not care about the characters, and I did not feel like there was much plot happening. So if there's no plot, atmosphere, or characters, I feel like those are the main things that I'm usually looking for. And if there's at least one of those I'm intrigued in, I can usually finish it. But if there's none, I just can't get through it. Okay, next I read Fourth Wing. So Fourth Wing, of course, is kind of labeled as new adult, and I don't know why I liked it. Why did this one work for me? I gave this one 4 stars. Maybe because there was a good plot too. The first half was kind of all plot, I felt like, and the second half was much more romance. Not all romance, but very romance heavy in the second half. And I really, really enjoyed that. Honestly, I loved the turn it took. The only downfall is that because of how romance it got towards the end, and they went ahead, of course, and let the main characters get together, that now I didn't care about the plot and the romance in the second book, Iron Flame, which I actually DNF'd, so I'll go ahead and talk about it for a second too. I DNF'd Iron Flame at 56%, and it was long. It was really long. I think I listened to 15 hours of the audiobook to get to 56%, but like I said, with the characters already being together, I just didn't really care, and everything was so slow and nothing was happening. But honestly, Fourth Wing, I actually really enjoyed it, so there must be something there, that there are some young adult or new adult romance books that I like, right? Next was Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. It is also labeled new adult. This one has 234,000 reviews on Goodreads and an average rating of 4.3 stars. So very high, really. It lured me in with the promise of vampires because I thought that sounded really cool. I'm always looking for a good vampire novel because, Anne Rice is my favorite author ever. I love the Vampire Chronicles. I got 42% of the way through this book. And I'm thinking that part of the problem too was the audiobook. I just couldn't follow along with everything that was going on. I've learned now that maybe fantasy is not the best on audio because I can't follow along with it as well. And then also I put that the author really does tell and not show instead of show, not tell. And I just felt like that was really boring and not a great writing style. And it also on Goodreads, it says it's perfect for fans of Blood and Ash and ACOTAR. And I was like, okay, well, I did like ACOTAR, kind of a little bit, but From Blood and Ash was one of the worst written books. It is absolutely atrocious. The writing is horrendous. Seriously, one of the worst written books I've ever read in my entire life. And obviously I didn't make it through that one either, which I guess I should have put on here because I did DNF From Blood and Ash as well. But I guess we'll just have that in another video because that was much older and I didn't make it very far. Anyway, I could see then where this is not for me because it is for people that I guess like From Blood and Ash. Okay, 2 more. The next was Rhapsodic. This is the first of a trilogy, but I think there's a novella as well. I think there's 4. It only has a 3.94 rating on Goodreads out of 120,000 reviews, and yet this one, so this has the lowest. Yeah, this has the lowest rating of all the ones I'm mentioning today, and it was really, really good. Just as good as Fourth Wing, if not better. I actually really liked this one, and I'm gonna continue the series. How crazy is that? I don't know if they'll all be as good, but it's also labeled as paranormal fantasy romance, so maybe because it's the paranormal aspect that I liked as well, and that it's set in the real world. I like, kind of more urban fantasy. I do like that a lot, I feel like, so maybe that's why. I said that there's just a lot of tension throughout the book. I felt like there were really high stakes. It's not enemies to lovers, which is what I usually like, but this one, they are kind of friends throughout. They're in most scenes together, which is interesting. There was actually some plot. So yeah, I will continue the series and I highly recommend it if you want a good fantasy romance. And finally, the last book is Daughter of No Worlds, Also by Carissa Broadbent, the same author of Serpent and the Wings of Night. So why'd I try another one? I don't know. I think I heard that this one was less romancy, maybe? I don't know. But this is the start of a trilogy. Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the other one's a trilogy too. This one is new adult, and it is 4.06 stars on Goodreads out of only 70,000 reviews, or yeah, reviewers. So that's not very high. I only made it 28% of the way through this one, and I remember that I kind of liked the setup at the very, very beginning. It kind of reminded me of like ACOTAR a little bit, but then they got to like, I don't remember if it was a magical school or like wherever she was going to train, and there were a lot of characters introduced really quickly, and like I just didn't care once it got to that part, and I realized that that's where it was going, and therefore I just didn't like the direction it was going, I guess. And it honestly, this one might have gotten better potentially because I only gave it 28%, so, and it is a trilogy, so maybe I could have tried this one a little harder, but will I try it again? Probably not. So guys, thanks for watching this very random little video today. I just thought it'd be fun to talk about some fantasy romance because it is almost Valentine's Day. So, or maybe this is coming out on Valentine's Day, probably. Thank you guys, and let me know down below if you had any similar thoughts, if you have any other recommendations for me for good fantasy romance, if I liked Fourth Wing and Rhapsodic, but like nothing else. And I will talk to you guys again later. Bye.